Alright, what's good, YouTube? T here from the Break Even TCG channel, and decided to bring you guys, a little Malamar list that we've been working on. This is a pretty cookie cutter list. It is a Tina Chomp variant. Afterwards, I will go over some discussion about things you can change. And it's really simple. It's a really streamlined, straightforward list. So let's get into it. Let's move this out of the frame. All right. So first things first, bread and butter of the deck for Malamar. So for those of you that don't know, Malamar's ability, Psychic Recharge, allows you to, once a turn, take a Psychic Energy from the discard pile and attach it to a bench Pokemon. So for each Malamar, you can take one from the discard pile and attach to a bench Pokemon. This helps you streamline attackers for the game. This is the bread and butter of the deck. Name of the deck is Malamar. So, for Inkay to evolve into Malamar, and then we have one Ditto to pretty much serve as a 5th Inkay. I really don't want to play this because you can only search it with Pokecomp, but for this video, it's on the list, pretty much. And like I said, we'll talk about like text and changes afterwards. Next, 3 Jirachi. I feel like 3 Jirachi is pretty standard. Stellar Wish, being able to Stellar Wish, look at the top 5 cards, to help you find a supporter, help you find Mysterious Treasure, Acrobite, whatnot to keep your plays going, is really strong, and it just helps out with the consistency of the deck, because I only play 8 supporters on this list. Again, I feel like this list is pretty cookie cutter, pretty straightforward. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know what I mean? 2 Giratina, so this is mainly going to be our attacker. So what Giratina does, Distortion Door, when it's in your discard pile, you can bring it back from the discard pile and bench it. When you do, it'll put 1 damage counter on 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. And then it also has the attack Shadow Impact. So for 3 energy, for 2 Psychic and a Colorless, it does 130. But then you put 4 damage counters on one of your Pokemon, so you'll put it on like Giratina himself if it's going to get knocked out already, or one of your like bench Pokemon. Since we do play Mew in the list, there's not a lot of bench sniping going on, so you can freely just put damage on your pokes, and it's okay. But yeah, this will be our main attacker of the deck, pretty much. Because you can just keep bringing him back and then attaching to him with Malamar. So, a really good card. Next, we have the 1 Tech Esper. This list does play spell tags. So, for those of you that don't know, Esper has, so first attack Catter Day, lets you draw a card, then put Esper to sleep. Second attack, Ear Kinesis. This attack does 20 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon for each damage counter on that Pokemon. So, if your opponent, is getting hit by Giratina, if Giratina is like trying to take a 2-shot, and your opponent switches out to avoid, you getting a prize, you can, drop the Esper, Ear Kinesis. Drop the Esper, Malamar attached to it, and then Ear Kinesis the Pokemon on the bench so you can take the prize. And before I get into this Mew, Esper is beautiful. Esper is a busted card because you can set up damage with not only Giratina, you can set up damage with the Mew. The Mew attack does come in handy in this deck. Spell tag, everything in this deck kind of helps Esper. So Esper is a really busted card in this deck. I just really want to state that. So next we have Mew, Bench Barrier. Prevent all damage done to your bench Pokemon by your opponent's attacks. So this helps on Pikarom, so you're not getting tag bolted out of the game. And then also, like, pseudo helps in the mirror because you're not getting linear attacked by Tina Chomp, or I don't think there's anything else that really snipes, because this places damage counters, so this gets around your opponents. But yeah, really good. Helps. Next, we have our two, big attackers. So we'll start off with, most beautiful card in the deck, Espeon Deoxys GX Tag Team. So this card is wild. So for a psychic and 2 colorless, it is 10 and then 30 more for each of your bench psychic Pokemon. So max damage output with this is 160. If you have 5 psychic Pokemon on your bench. That's not really like a super relevant number, but like if you put a spell tag on this and then hit a Heatran for 160, and they like knock this out, the spell tag will do the other 30 damage to knock out the Heatran, or same thing to Whimsicott, things like that. But we really have this for its cross division GX. So for Psychic Gun double colorless, I'll put it up so you can read. But put 10 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon any way you like. If this Pokemon has 3 extra energy attached to it, in addition to the attack cost, put 20 damage counters. So this also just helps spread damage and set up KOs that you might not have been able to take, because since we don't play custom catcher, your opponent can freely retreat to the bench and try to dodge you taking prizes on some of their pokes. So this card really helps out with that, and then it also helps deal with like smaller pokes like Pidgeys and Pidgeotos. If you saw that in the World Championships, this card's really nuts. Spreading is the name of the game for this deck. And then last but not least, we play one. Oh, sorry, camera lost focus for a second. Alright. We'll play one Giratina, Garchomp Giratina tag team. First attack, linear attack. It just does 40 to 1 poke. Your choice, can be on the bench. Next is Calamitous Slash. If your opponent's Pokemon has any damage counters on it already, if your opponent's active has any damage counters on it already, it does 160 plus 80 for 240. So, like I said, with the whole spreading aspect of the deck, you can, like, say, have a spell tag, put 3 on a Charizard, and then Calamitous Slash will do the extra 240 to knock it out. And then 1 damage counter randomly on a Pikarom, 240 takes out a Pikarom, or 2 damage counters on a Choo-Choo, takes out a Choo-Choo. So this card can just take knockouts out of nowhere, and it really helps. Also, the 40 snipe helps with spreading and taking knockouts that way. So quickly for changes, this can alternate for any like big tech attacker. So like if you want to play like Ultra Malamar, you can play Ultra Malamar instead of this, and then change the 2 fighting energy into 2 metal energies. The reasoning it's like 2 metal energies or 2 fighting energies is just in case of pricing, because I'm really paranoid about pricing. So I don't mind like pricing this. I can play without this card, but like if I have this card and then I prize the fighting energy that I need for this card to attack, then this card's pretty much useless. Like having the 2 energy, I don't mind, because the Giratina's attack takes 1 colorless, so it can be 1 of the fighting, or it can be 1 of the steel. So that's just the method behind my madness personally. As for other techs you can play, you can take out like the Ditto for like a Mimikyu, the promo Mimikyu the one that has the copycat attack. Can also take out for Gengar Mimikyu, which was a tech we had in the deck originally. What that one does is Poltergeist, so 50 times the amount of trainers your opponent has in their hand. Anyways, those are just some thoughts I had and I wanted to share real quick. Next is our supporter lineup. So I have one Erica's Hospitality. Just overall a decent card. So you can play this card if you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand. You draw a card for each Pokemon your opponent has in play. So if they have a full bench, like against Mew, they'll try to have like, close to a full bench, like 4 or 5 Pokemon in play. So this will draw you 5 cards when you're on a low hand. It's just a really decent card. 3 Cynthia, solely because I wanted to play like less shuffle draw and then just more regular draw, because I like holding cards in my hand with this list. So I just didn't want to play too many shuffle draw cards. And then 4 Lily for turn 1, because you can empty your hand turn 1, then Lily for 8. Next, bread and butter of the deck as well, because this searches all of your Pokemon except Ditto. Mysterious Treasure, discard a card, search a Psychic or Dragon. For consistency, obvious. 4 Pokemon Communication, because the searches your Ditto and it's just extra Pokemon search, because we need that in the format. Next we play 4 Switch. As you can see, we're playing Giratina with other decks teching Lysander Labs in their list. It'll shut off the escape boards that are in this list, so we're going to need another way to switch out the Jirachi into our attacker of choice. So, 4 Switch. Next, I have a Proxy Acrobike, but 4 Acrobike, just to help you dig through your deck, put your pieces together, like help you get Giratina in the discard pile, Psychic Energy in the discard pile, or just help you dig for supporters more. Then next we have 3 Spell Tag. When the Psychic Pokemon this card is attached to is knocked out by damage from your opponent's attack, you can put 4 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon any way you like. So with 3, we can just pretty much spread damage wherever and help facilitate our knockouts, which is our win condition. Spread, 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 and then take knockouts. Big knockouts. Next, 2 Escape Board for our Jirachi. Retreat cost of the Pokemon that has this card attached to it is 1 less. Then you can retreat when paralyzed and asleep. So when Jirachi's put itself to sleep, the skateboard, skate out of there. And then round off the items, 1 reset stamp just for the comeback play, trying to stamp your opponent to like 1 or 2 cards, and then making your push and trying to come back. And then 3 Viridian Forest is an extra discard outlet. Searches, discard a card, search a basic energy. It's pretty simple. Helps us fuel our discard pile of Psychic Energy for Malamar, and then also adds the fighting energy that we need for Tina Chomp, or the metal energy you'll need for Ultra Necrozma, whichever you prefer. And then to round off the deck, it is 7 Psychic Energy and then 2 fighting. Alright, anyways, that is it for the list. Let me know what you think, and I'll probably have a more in-depth video about techs for this deck and other decks later, or we'll probably talk about it on the podcast. So, hope you guys stay tuned. This is T here from the Break Even TCG channel, signing out.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Remember to like the video, leave a comment of what you want to see next, and subscribe. T here from the Break Even TCG channel, signing out.